So, today, fewer children die each year than there are stars in the brightest galaxy. But, have you ever wondered why we almost never hear about that?
Yeah, it's May 12th, 2025. Let's start with some numbers. These are the types that sort of slip under the radar. Back in 1960, around 20 million children died every year, mostly from things we could actually prevent. Now, that number's about 6 million. Still a lot, of course, but it's a drop of about 70%. So, why isn't this making headlines?
Yeah, and if we think about poverty, the change is just as, striking. In 1990, close to 2 billion people lived in extreme poverty, less than $2.15 a day. By 2015, that fell to about 700 million. That's over a billion people who aren't struggling quite as much to survive. So what actually caused that?
A lot of it comes down to international cooperation and policies that target poverty. Take China, for example. Through big state-led efforts like investing in infrastructure and rural reforms, they pulled hundreds of millions out of poverty. That's not just markets doing their thing.
Right, and it's not unique to China. Globally, more people have access to safe drinking water now, up about 16% since 2000. And vaccination rates? Around 80% of one-year-olds are getting at least one shot. That's a big deal for global health.
But the path hasn't been smooth. The COVID-19 pandemic actually reversed some of that progress. For the first time in decades, extreme poverty numbers went up, like 3 years' worth of gains, almost gone overnight. And then climate change. 1 in 5 people will experience an extreme weather event sometime in their life. So, how does that play into poverty?
It's a huge risk. Agriculture, infrastructure, even health systems, they all get hit by climate shocks. And if you're already poor, you're way more vulnerable. So, the progress we've made, it isn't guaranteed to stick.
What about differences between regions? I mean, sub-Saharan Africa. That region has about 16% of the world's population, but 67% of people living in extreme poverty. Why is it so uneven?
There are a bunch of reasons. Conflict, infrastructure that's lacking, weak education systems. And honestly, even how we measure poverty is debated. The World Bank's $2.15 line doesn't always cover what people really need. Some folks push for a multidimensional approach, so not just income, but health, education, living standards, all of it.
That's the Global Multidimensional Poverty Index, right? It's a broader way to look at things. You can technically have enough money, but still lack clean water or schooling.
Exactly. That's why future strategies need to be, comprehensive. Jobs, schools, infrastructure, resilience against climate, and social safety nets too. The big target is ending extreme poverty by 2030. But is that realistic?
It's a really tough goal. Progress has slowed, and global risks are piling up. But if we look back 60 years, big change has happened before. So maybe the main lesson is collective action and smart policies do make a difference.
Maybe the bigger question is, how do we keep that momentum? What's it going to take for the next generation to see even more progress?
Yeah, that's what we'll keep watching. These hidden wins matter. They show what's possible. When the news is all crisis, it's easy to miss the progress.
Thanks for joining us. Today we tried to unpack how humanity has, quietly pulled off some of its biggest victories. The next challenge is making sure we don't lose that progress.
We hope you'll be with us next time as we keep digging into the questions that matter. Until then, stay curious and keep looking for the real stories behind the numbers.